Morehouse School of Medicine, Dr. David Satcher, who is one of the nation's leading advocates for science literacy, research, and education. Today, I'll touch on just a very few of the many achievements of Dr. Satcher in my introduction. Dr. Satcher was the 16th Surgeon General of the United States and also served as Assistant Secretary for Health in the Department of Health and Human Services, making him only the second in history to have held both positions simultaneously. He was also Director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, where we are today, and was the first person to serve as Director of the CDC and Surgeon General of the United States. Dr. Satcher is currently Director of the Center of Excellence on Health Disparities and occupies the Poussaint Satcher Cosby Chair in Mental Health at the Morehouse School of Medicine. This special chair resides in the Satcher Health Leadership Institute, one of our newest institutes at Morehouse School of Medicine. Prior to that, Dr. Satcher was interim president and then president of the Morehouse School of Medicine. His other leadership positions included interim dean of the Charles R. Drew University Medical and Sciences Center in Los Angeles and president of Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. As Surgeon General and Assistant Secretary of Health, Dr. Satcher led the department's effort to eliminate racial and ethnic disparities in health, an initiative that was incorporated as one of the two major goals of Healthy People 2010. Dr. Satcher has received over 40 honorary degrees and numerous awards. Most recently, he received the Sackler Award from Research America for sustained leadership at the national level, and the Georgia Budget and Policy Institute Visionary Award for engagement in research and education in the state of Georgia. He is a member of the Institute of Medicine, National Academy of Sciences, and a member of the Board of Directors of Johnson & Johnson. He has also served on the Commission for Social Justice for the World Health Organization. We are extremely fortunate to have Dr. Satcher with us today to share his thoughts about science education and literacy and its importance to the economic well-being of our state and nation. Please join me in welcoming Dr. David Satcher.
Well, thank you very much, Dean Higginbotham, for that very, very kind introduction. I'm delighted to be able to join you. I commend Georgia Bio for, I guess, this first conference dealing with the importance of life sciences for the workforce. And I hope this is the first of many more, because this is such a critical issue. Now, you just heard Dr. Higginbotham introduced me, and one thing you should know, of course, especially given the nature of this meeting, is that probably nobody embodies what we're talking about here today more than Eve Higginbotham, who after finishing high school in Louisiana went to MIT, where she had a bachelor's and a master's of science in chemical engineering, and then went to medical school at Harvard, went on to become an outstanding ophthalmologist, the first woman to chair the Department of Ophthalmology in this country. So her introduction may be more important than mine, considering why we're here today, because I think when you really think about issues related to race and gender as it relates to science and technology, we have some major challenges that we're facing here in Georgia and throughout the country. And it's just really important to recognize role models such as Eve Higginbotham. I also want to say it's great to be back at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and I hope that you realize that there is probably nowhere in the country, maybe nowhere in the world, where science and technology is used more effectively than at the CDC. The CDC uses science and technology to protect the health of the American people, to promote the health of the American people in so many ways. The highest level or high security laboratory in the world is here at the CDC, so that new infectious diseases can be detected and monitored to protect the health of the American people. A lot of science goes into that, the latest science. Here at the CDC, of course, through the National Center for Health Statistics, science and math is used in monitoring the health of the American people with the surveillance systems. In addition to the so-called NHANES survey, the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, CDC carries out the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance Survey and the Youth Risk Behavior Survey. But you could go on and on. The environmental toxins, monitoring environmental toxins to which the American people are being exposed. So many ways in which science and technology, a multidisciplinary team of life scientists come together here to protect our health, and really the health of the world, because all over the world, as you probably know, whenever there's a major outbreak of any new infectious diseases, the place they call first is the CDC. If they call the World Health Organization first, they call the CDC. So this is an example of a place where we really need a workforce, like many of you in your businesses. We need a workforce here that is able to stay on top of the life science challenges which we face in our health. I thought it was interesting. I was, yesterday, I believe, watching an interview with Condoleezza Rice about her years as Secretary of State and other things. And she was asked the question about what she saw as the most important issue facing the country as it relates to our national security and other things. And you know what she said? She said, education. The quality of our education, especially public education, is perhaps the #1 challenge and issue that we face in this country. So we face it when it comes to our economy, our businesses, growing competition globally, the need for more people well-trained in the life sciences and in technology is really critical. So this is a very timely meeting, and hopefully will become sort of a model of taking on these issues head-on as we try to build for Georgia and model for the country the workforce for the future. Well, Barack Obama has spoken to this too, and now that the election is over, I can talk about what he said without being accused of being a politician. You know, the Surgeon General is not a politician, right? But I think what Barack Obama said during the campaign about education and technology is very important for this meeting, because obviously, you know, when he takes office, we're going to be looking for him to really follow through, and I think he will. He says his goal is to make America the undisputed leader in science and technology. That's quite a goal, and we need that goal because we have lost ground, as you know, in recent years. I remember when we were #1 in terms of broadband connections. I think we've dropped from 1 to 15. So a lot of ways in which we really need to beef up our science and technology. Obama said some other things while on the campaign trail that I think we should remember. He said that we need to invest in our schools as we've never done before. And again, he said, especially our public schools. We need to invest in teachers. And as you know, we have a major deficit of teachers in science and math. We need to invest. We need to better reward teachers. We need to get more scientists who are also teaching students. Scientists, many of them in your businesses, who take some time to also teach students. But he also said that we need a partnership between schools and community. We need partnership between schools and businesses. And I know some of you are engaged in those kind of partnerships, and I hope you will commit to maintaining and increasing those partnerships in the future. I also said we need to really promote partnerships between teachers and parents.